the question that we've been asked is, how do I handle settlement funds in ULaw with a contingency fee? For that, I'm going to create a new client. Let's say this client's name is John Master. Okay, I'm going to just create a matter for him. Let's say it's some small claims matter, and you got let's say a $10,000 settlement fund, and you basically had settled with him that 40% is yours and 60% is his. So let's say it was John versus Jane. Okay, and in this matter you did a few things for him, like you went for an initial client meeting, you kind of went for court attending and all that stuff. So let's put all that stuff. Let's say initial client meeting and attended court, met with opponent, etc. Okay, but you don't bill them yet. Okay, so now and then closure, right? Like let's say there are these 40 events. I'm going to save it. Now, what I'm going to tell you is you're not going to enter any rates or billables or anything like that. First thing first is you're going to accept the settlement fund that came from Jane. So you will go to the disbursements and retainer panel, and you'll say action settlement payment deposit and trust. So let's say a $10,000 check came from Jane, right? And you would put that into your trust account, right? You choose your trust account, and let's say it was pool trust account, and you would just apply it. Okay, so now this $10,000 from Jane sitting in your trust account, and you need to send 60% of it for John and 40% of it is for you. What you can do is you can go to matter events, right? I would click on the action and I would autofill everything as pro bono, all your meetings, right? And I would hit the save button. So that way you're not billing the client anything for the work you did. Then what I would do is click on this action button here, and in that you have something called contingency. So you say contingency, and you can say $10,000, right? And you can say 40% of that is my legal fee, right? And you can add that. Now what it does is it says $4,000, which is 40% of 10,000, is your contingency fee to do that. So you can now hit the save button. This is where, once it does that, then it's time for you to raise that bill. Now, obviously, in this one I have HST, so it's going to be more than 40%. It's going to be a little bit more with taxes. So I'm going to go ahead and raise my invoice. Skip preview here for a second, and that's the amount actually you owe him, because it's like 4,000 plus tax, right? And you can basically raise the invoice. And once you've raised the invoice, the first thing you would do is you would pay yourself, because that's pretty important that you pay yourself. So let's now download the invoice, and this is the invoice that you can actually send to your client and tell him, hey, you are now going to be paid that much, right? Now you hit the question mark, you're ready to actually download them. You can say transfer, and you can choose that, right? That's what you're actually going to be transferring, which is $4,000 plus HST, and you can do an electronic fund transfer. You can put your acquisition number and go ahead, right? Transfer button. Choose that. Fund transfer. So now that you've transferred yourself, it's time for you to download Form 9A. So you can basically do that, and there you go. Download Form 9A. So what have I done so far? To summarize, I went to the matter, I put all my dockets as pro bono, I put a contingency fee for my 40%, I deposited my settlement fund, I raised myself an invoice, right? and that kind of gives me an idea of how much I need to pay myself. The invoice tells me 4,000 plus taxes, so that means I need to pay myself that much, and this is the balance in trust, right? So now I've already paid myself. Actually, if I go to the trust account, you will see that 10,000 came in as settlement funds. I've paid myself legal fee. That leaves me with that much. So in general, as you see, the invoice that was raised is all done. So what does that leave me now? The last part is paying him the settlement. So I click on action, pay out settlement funds, and that's basically everything that is there. And you can write this check number, and you can say pay out settlement funds to John and his family, paid to John M, and let's pay out. So now you'll see that the matter is actually done. You will see that the projected balance will be zero, trust funds will be zero, everything will be zero. So as you see here, general, everything is paid out. You raised an invoice for 40%, got yourself paid. If you go to trust account, the $10,000 that came in, 40% went to you plus HST of course, and the remaining went to John. And this matter is actually closed, so you can mark it as closed. So to summarize, the steps that we followed where we created a matter, we basically put a lot of dockets, but then marked every docket as a pro bono. The reason why we did that is because we don't want to charge anything other than contingency. We got the deposit in trust using the settlement payout, pay-in basically, deposit, and then we put a contingency fee, charged him, right? Raised the invoice, paid ourselves, right? Paid ourselves. Then we even downloaded Form 9A. Then we were ready to pay him out. And that's exactly what we did. And then finally we closed the matter.